For many Asian children, this is one of the earliest taboos they learn. It's often spoken when the house is quiet, the lights are low, and the outside world feels just a little unsafe. Someone hums a tune. The tune naturally turns into a whistle. And immediately, someone stops them. Don't do that. Not at night. Do you want something to follow you home? The reasons change depending on where you are. In Chinese folklore, whistling at night is said to attract wandering spirits. In Malay and Indonesian traditions, it may summon something that then imitates a human voice. In parts of Japan, night whistling is associated with thieves, or worse, spirits who disguise themselves as them. But the rule is consistent. Sounds made at night will draw attention. And it is out of our control who or what starts to pay you that attention. As children, we accept this easily. Nighttime already feels different. The air is heavier, shadows move without explanation. Familiar rooms feel altered once the lights are off. Creepier, scarier. So when an adult says, "Don't whistle," it doesn't feel unreasonable. It feels careful. We tend to imagine nights this way. A dark corridor. A window accidentally left open. A sound from within drifting outward. The idea that something you cannot see might hear you. But as with many taboos, the fear is only the outer layer. Beneath it is something quieter. Something possibly a little more practical. Nighttime is when things feel a lot less safe, especially in the past. There were no street lights, no fully secured, locked doors as we know them today. No mobile phones to call for help. Sound, especially one's attune, travels farther in the stillness of nighttime. When seeing is inhibited, a whistle could carry across fields, through forests, into places you couldn't see. And anything that could hear you knew exactly where you were. In some cultures, whistling at night was believed to signal spirits. In others, it signaled other humans. Thieves used various whistling sounds as codes to communicate. Lookouts warned accomplices. Signals were exchanged in the dark. So when elders said, "Don't whistle," they weren't only protecting children from the unseen, they were protecting them from the very real. Actual people who could cause them harm. Over time, these warnings took on symbolic language. Instead of saying, "You might attract dangerous people," they said, "You might attract spirits." Because spirits are somehow more feared than strangers. and fear is a powerful teacher. Still, the belief persisted even when danger faded with time and advancements. Even when doors became sturdier. Even when villages turned into towns. Even when streets were lit. The rule remained. Do not whistle at night. Why? Because night is when the boundary between worlds grows thinner. At least that's how it feels. Across many Asian traditions, night is associated with yin, stillness, introspection, the unseen. Sounds made at night disrupt that balance. A whistle is sharp, piercing, intentional, directional. It cuts through silence. Some say that whistling is like calling out. Even if you don't mean to, it announces presence. And not everything that hears you will announce itself back. This is where the eeriness naturally settles in. Not in jump scares, not in monsters, but in the idea of a response. You make a sound, something hears it, and decides to respond. But notice how the stories rarely say what will come. They tend to say that something will trace the sound and follow you. Something will listen more intently. Something will remember. The vagueness is intentional. The fear comes from imagination. And imagination is far more effective than any description. Yet when we examine this taboo closely, it reveals a different kind of wisdom. It teaches restraint, awareness, an understanding that everything, including making sounds seemingly for your own leisure, has consequences, especially at night. Think about it. Even today, whistling alone at night feels strange. You wouldn't do it walking down a quiet street. You wouldn't do it in a stairwell. You wouldn't do it in an empty park. Not because you believe in spirits, but because it could draw attention. As adults, many of us no longer believe the myth. We rarely believe that anything supernatural will appear. And yet, we still don't whistle. Not out of fear, but out of instinct and out of respect for the what if. This is how taboos evolve. What begins as a safety rule becomes a cultural memory, passed down not as logic but as story. In some households, the warning is softened. People are sleeping. It's rude. Don't bother others. In others, the old language remains. You'll invite something in. You'll call the wrong thing. Both serve the same purpose. Staying silent at night is protective. There's also an emotional layer to this taboo. Nighttime is when deeper thoughts tend to surface. When grief lingers. When fear feels louder. Whistling, cheerful, careless, disrupts that mood. It clashes. It is rude to others wanting their quiet time to unwind. And cultures that value harmony instinctively resist that clash. So over time, the rule becomes less about danger. It becomes about respect. Respect for others around you. Respect for the shared space. respect for quiet time. We begin to see the taboo not as superstition, but as social design, a way to teach children and remind adults to be mindful that everything we do has consequences to others, whether intended or otherwise. And yet, the thought still lingers. Because even now, alone, late at night, if you accidentally whistle a tune in your mindless haste, you pause and say a meek but truthful, "I'm sorry." Not because you believe something will come, but because something ancient in you remembers being warned not to do it. This is the power of cultural storytelling. It does not need proof. It lives in our behavior. The taboo against whistling at night does not survive because it is true. It survives because it is useful and keeps you feeling somehow safe. The spirits, if they ever existed, fade from the narrative. What remains is understanding. So the next time you hear someone say, "Don't whistle at night," listen closely. They are not necessarily warning you about ghosts. They are passing down a lesson shaped by generations who learned when to speak and when not to. And that knowledge, quiet as it is, still matters. Because sometimes the safest thing you can do is to let the night remain quiet. For you never truly know who or what might be lurking out there waiting to give you its undying attention.